Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the January 26th, 2024 meeting of the Rotary Club of Brentwood. My name is Drew Rogers, and I have the privilege of serving. Oh, yeah, thank you, Curry. I can always count on you. War Eagle, my standing ovation of one. Nobody ever really seems to pile in on that, Chuck. I wish they would. Thank you. I am grateful that we're able to meet again this week. Sorry that last week didn't turn out. I think that was Curry's fault, even though you did just give me a standing ovation. Curry gave us the bad omen that we were going to get canceled last week, and the snowstorm ultimately decided that for us. We are going to have the invocation by Laura Troop and the pledge and four-way test led by Devin McClendon before Jennifer Bourne introduces our guests and visiting Rotarians. So with that, I will ask Laura Troop to come to the podium.
Let's pray. Creator God, we acknowledge that you are in control and we are not. God, thank you for this exact moment in time with these exact people in this exact place. God, help us to open our eyes to the people around us, who we can love, who we can serve alongside, who we can link arms with, and go out into this place and change the world for good. Father, we are so grateful for the protection and provision over the last few days of crazy weather, and we're so glad to be back together. God, we ask that you are with those who can't be with us today. Help them to feel missed and loved in their hearts while they're not with us. And God, if they are in poor health, we just ask that you restore them. Father, we ask that you walk with us, inspire us, speak to us through your Spirit, and give us the power to go out and do big things in your name. We love you, God, and pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
If you would, please face our flag and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the United States of America, to the Republic of the nation.
And now please join me in the four-way test of the things we Rotarians think, say, and do. First, second, third, and fourth.
We certainly hope so. Thank you very much, Laura. Thank you, Devin. I know Devin was very nervous if he would get that right. Jennifer Bourne, why don't you introduce our guests and any visiting Rotarians that we have?
All right, we've got two guests today. Dick, would you like to introduce yours first?
This is Pat Ryan. Pat is the founder of the Tennessee World Affairs Council, retired Navy guy, submarines, surface warfare, intel, prospective member.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pat. You all will recognize Pat because he spoke to us earlier last year. Yes, he did.
All right, our next guest is your guy.
Yes. KP, would you like to stand up? You may call KP Karen or KP, but her name is Karen Porter. KP Porter is a guest of mine. She's with Operation Stand Down and was introduced to our club because she had reached out to me, and I'm grateful that she's our guest and would ask that you all welcome her. KP. We're done. Okay. Well, that's very efficient. Thank you very much, Jennifer. All right. I do have a few announcements. So Linus, if you will display what I had asked you to display. We have many reasons to thank Laura Troop. One is that she just delivered a beautiful invocation, but she has also been working tirelessly to help us navigate the process of building a new website, as has Ted Ilanchilian as the project manager for this conversion from Club Runner to DACDB. So without further ado, I wanted to preview our new website that Laura has been working so tirelessly on. And so I'm going to try to get out of the way. Is there a wireless mic that I could use? That way I'm not standing in the way of people being able to see the website. So This is what we've been working on. This will integrate with DACDB. You can see that it has a cleaner and more current look. We have pictures that we've taken that will now scroll. You can see some prominent Rotarians on the homepage. There are some functions that will help make your life easier, your Rotary life easier at least. There's still some things that we need to do in terms of some graphics that we're working on. But this is going to be the place that you come to learn about upcoming meetings and registering, RSVPing for those meetings, right, Larry? Yep. And then if you want information about our upcoming events, this is where you'll go. Linus, if you could scroll down for me. There are going to be some things that you will see. So you see our homepage, you see those graphics, you can stop right there, Linus. Our Facebook page, so all of the good work that Charles Grumman does, updating our social media profile, you will get to see that. That will have a live feed, and you'll be able to see the information that he's posting. You will also see on the right-hand side coming events. So that's going to list all of our speakers because Burt Bradford is listing our speakers there. And underneath that, you can see more info. There's a link for more info. If you were to click on that, you can click on that, Linus. It pulls up this page. And if you see that yellow button on the bottom, that helps you RSVP, right? So you could even get a hat that says RSVP like Larry's got. But then you just go in and you put your first name, last name, email, and then you let us know that you're going to be here. So this is not an insignificant effort from Laura. And so I would ask one that we recognize all of that work. So please recognize Laura for that. But it is very important, and come February 1st, you will see that new website with that design. And so thank you, Laura, for everything that you're doing. Jason. Yes, it is still coming out. The email that you saw this week actually was from DACDB. So that has now changed, but that is another option for you to go RSVP. So that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. Any other questions? Okay. Patrick Wright. Are you chewing again? This always happens. It's like uncanny. I'd like to invite you to come up and talk about Little Harpeth River cleanup. I'll do a better job of coordinating that with you next time.
No problem. It's always that way. So it's what, 2 more weeks, today and next week, and then you don't see me again about Little Harpeth ever again. How great is that? So bear with me. So Little Harpeth coming up next Saturday. It's going to be 55. It's supposed to be dry all week. Everybody keep your prayers going for that. The river's up right now, so hopefully we'll get a break this week. You will see some media coming out. I just got an email from Jody Rawl, former member, lives down in Florida now, in the Williamson Herald. There was also an article that went out yesterday in the Williamson Source. So if you know these folks who work for these, please thank them for helping us get the word out. They've all done a great job with that. Very much appreciated. We're going to have scouts. We're going to have interactors. Harpeth Conservancy is bringing a group, but please continue to get the word out. As you know, this is a volunteer event, and we never know who's going to show until the day off. So that's what makes it fun. If you have signed up, and there is a sign-up sheet on your table, if you have previously signed up and you have told me things like, I'll do whatever you need, put me to work wherever, I'm open to anything. Understand that you are probably going to be asked to lead a section. So if that's something you don't want to do, let me know. But if you've said, I'll work registration, I'll be there early, all those types of things, I know you're going to be there to help me herd the cats at the library next Saturday morning. You will get, if you've signed up, an email from me early next week with kind of an overview, if you've never done it before, about what to expect. And then also where I could use you. Some of you have said, hey, I could be there at 7 when you get there with the donuts and help you set up tables and do all that kind of thing. I'll need a few people for that. Most of the folks who don't go out and lead a section, I need there between like 8 and 9 when all the craziness is going on, just to kind of keep people together and hand out the equipment, make sure they're getting snacks and all those types of things, making them feel hospitalized in a good way. Let's see. I think that's all I've got. Anybody has any questions, you know how to reach me, email, text. I think that's all I've got. Well, thank you.
All right, remember that is next Saturday. So we will have one meeting between now and the Little Harpeth River cleanup. But please let Patrick know what you can do to help in that effort. A couple of miscellaneous announcements, and then I will ask Patrick Wright to do another thing. He can take another bite if he'd like to, and then do it. Is Happy Bucks. So remember that you've received emails about two things. One, that RILA applications are due April 1st. So if you know any candidates that would be good RILA attendees, Rotary Youth Leadership Academy, please let us know about that. The application is online, and I know that Laura has also put that on the new website. So it come February 1st, it's just going to be like a seamless transition, and that application will be online. Those are due April 1st. You also received an email this week from Hunter McCarty about the Safe Haven Shelter for Homeless. And so Beth Dormany is here, and she is, there are specific requests that they have for things that are needed by the shelter. And so if you have any of those things, or if you would like to make a financial donation, a monetary donation, please see Beth. Is that fair? Is there anything that you would like to add to that? Wonderful. Thank you for raising that to our attention, Beth. To the Board of Directors, there will be a brief meeting after the regular club meeting this week. It will not take more than 10 to 15 minutes, but if you can stick around for that, I would appreciate it. And with that, Patrick Wright, Happy Bucks.
All right, got the basket. Who's happy? Bill Donahue here.
This is a $5 bill because he's almost 5 months old, but I knew his grandson. I just got christened last Sunday at Presbyterian Church.
Nice.
That's awesome. Thank you. Who else? Oh. Jeff Brown's got money in his hand. Hang on, hang on, hang on. All right.
Yep, good. Well, that's a great way to start things off. I just want to let everybody know I'm, first of all, very grateful to all of you who gave me rides during the period of time that I couldn't drive. It includes Drew and Rod, and especially Michael Barrett, who got it all started at the very outset. The other thing I want to let you know is as of the 26th of December, I was approved to drive again and had an MRI on Tuesday. Everything is going well. Still have some things to work on, as you can tell by a little bit of balance and some memory, but very grateful to the club for having supported me through all this, because I'm sure it made a big difference in the healing. Thanks very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Jeff. That's great. Who else? Mr. Grumman.
Thank you. Okay. Hey, real quick, I need to crowdsource an answer. 2 p.m. I'm going to take a client out for a drink. She just got a huge promotion. What's the fanciest place in town to take someone out to a drink to celebrate? Come on. You guys are fancy people. Where? Well, we actually go to Maribel's all the time. Give me another one. What? Where? Brown? No. Jeff Ruby's. Where is that? Downtown. Jeff Ruby's. Okay. Everyone agree? Jeff Ruby's?
Palm.
Or oh, that's okay. All right, done. All right, thank you. All right, now, so hey, Banks and Zach and I went to Zany's last Friday. It was awesome. I brought my wife and someone from work. Banks brought a couple people from work too. We had a great time. There's a picture. Is there a picture? Oh, Linda says this is the picture part. Remember the picture part? Yeah. It's pretty tough to catch Linda's sleeping on the job. That's somebody should write that down. Oh, okay. That was the punchline. Yeah. Okay. So we went to Zany's, had a great time. So I knocked number one off. So the game, as you may recall, is to go to this and take as many Rotarians as you want. There were 3 Rotarians there, plus my lovely wife and my coworker, Amber. So we each get 3 points. We're officially winning. I don't care if you're playing the game or not. I'm winning. So the next one, I would encourage you all to use this, just use it as an excuse to hang out with Rotarians. Turns out they're pretty cool people. So Susie Lindsay suggested that maybe we go to who would like to go to Monell's with us? Anyone want to go to Monell's with Susie Lindsay? I know it's not me. Look at this. 4 or 5 people. Great. So I'm about to say my phone number out loud and you're going to write it down and text me. Ready? 615. I've been here a long time. It's not a 629. 615 584. Oh, that's it's like a time loop. 1371, 615-584-1371. Please text me if you want to go to Monell's with Susie, Lindsay, and I, and we'll do that whole calendar war thing, and we'll try to find a time to do it. Thank you very much. Thank you for the recommendation for a drink.
I would like to sponsor Kip
Thank you, Charles.
Dodson to introduce his guests if I can.
Come in, here we go. There you go.
Sorry we're late. We were talking intensely and having extraordinary, bonding friendship here. This is Christopher Richards. He is your Williamson County Commissioner, District.
District, which is right here.
Thank you for being here. This is Mark Lobliner. Mark and I are great friends. Our kids do athletics together. He's helped coach me because you can see I need a lot of coaching. But he is a professional card-carrying bodybuilder. Also owns Legacy Fitness.
We're a youth performance facility in Franklin. I also have a few other businesses. Outright Bar, Number Bar, and Vitamin Shop in the sport nutrition field.
Wonderful.
So he expressed interest to want to get involved in Rotary. I'm really happy he came, and you'll be seeing more of him.
Wonderful. Thank you, Beach.
Welcome.
Christopher.
Thank you.
Mark.
Anybody else happy?
Anyone else?
Going once, going twice. Back to you, President. Drew.
Patrick, thank you very much. I do have one final announcement before Bert Bradford comes and introduces our speaker. This umbrella was left here 2 weeks ago. You might want it. Come see me if you want it. With that, Bert, I would like to invite you to the podium to introduce our speaker, Dina Ivy.
I'm just lowering this for Dana. So, well, it's good to see everybody today. Today our speaker is Dina Ivy. She serves as president and CEO of the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation and has been with the organization since 1997. She has helped oversee and coordinate the organization's marketing efforts as Nashville has become a top global destination. The city's tourism has been at all-time high with 14.8 million annual visitors and 9.2 billion in direct visitor spending. Ms. Ivy has played a key role in leading Nashville and branding itself around the world as Music City. She has served as an adjunct professor at Belmont. Before her work in Nashville, she was the CEO level experience at Gatlinburg Chamber of Commerce, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. She's a graduate of Western Kentucky. She's completed master's work at UT, Western Kentucky, and she and her husband, Brian, have a college-age son. So will you welcome Dina, please?
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today. You guys seem like a fun group. I'll tell you, I just left Channel 5 where I did Inside Politics with Pat Nolan and 45 rapid questions. So I think you'll be easier on me than that was, hopefully. Well, I'm new to being the president and the CEO of the CVC. As Bert said, I have been there for 25 years. And Nashville, and I know we're in Brentwood, but we're all together, right? Visitors don't know the borderlines. It's truly a great destination, and I'm so proud to lead that Visitors Bureau and see the growth that we've had over all these years and take a lot of pride in what we've been able to do. The purpose of the CVC, if you don't know, is to advertise Nashville to the world and the region, to be honest. We want people to come here to visit, whether they're a family coming for vacation or 10,000 people coming for a convention. We do that every day, and it's everything that we can do to maximize the economy and the revenue that's coming in to Nashville. The numbers are really, really positive. The industry provides 70,000 careers locally, and the state calculated that tax revenue generated by visitors last year brought in $400 million just to metro government, $600 million to the state. That's significant. Dare I say vital to our city. I know, again, we're in Brentwood, and you need to know that the success of our industry is felt in the region and statewide. Recently, a local media outlet reported that Davidson County was one of 3 counties, the leading county, that subsidizes a significant portion of the state sales tax collections. And their analysis attributed a successful tourism industry as a key driver in generating more money than for the other counties in the state. Now, I talk about Nashville, and you need us for the entertainment and the hotels, and we need you for housing and the workforce and for transit. We've been talking a lot about transit. The economic return of the hospitality industry to our city and to our surrounding counties is always important to keep in mind. But the industry's brought more than just revenue to the economy. Nashville's always been a unique and interesting place. Tennessee's always been a unique and interesting place. I've always explained the difference in Nashville as having a soul. And those of us who live here, you know it. I mean, you feel it. We're a special place. We're also extremely fortunate that we have the powerful, unique draw of music. People come from all over the world just to hear our music. And I look around at other markets and I'm thankful. I mean, it's extremely rare that we have something that's so different that can be packaged and it's exciting to sell. And I'm not the only one saying that. I mean, you've seen some of the results of some of the media and how they've named us the second best convention city. And everybody asked me, well, who's the first? And that was my first question too. And it was Orlando. And I always say it's kind of hard to compete with the mouse. I mean, we can compete with Las Vegas, we can compete with Dallas, we can compete with all those bigger convention centers because we have a more exciting destination, but it's a little bit more difficult to compete with Orlando and their great destination. We've also been named one of the top global destinations for 13 consecutive years. Condé Nast Traveler, there's a bunch of different ones that have named us that. And we're now 13 years in a row as one of the best destinations. And there was a media outlet just recently in Australia that named us one of the places to go in 2024. Australia is a growing market for us. We're doing quite a bit of marketing down there. The brand was created by and for tourism. When you hear us talking about Music City, and it's to prompt people to come to visit here. But no doubt the brand has brought more than just the impact of visitation. The Nashville Business Journal recently, they reported that downtown Nashville led the nation in 100% recovery from COVID. We were the first ones to recover, which was amazing. And I think the big part of it was from tourism. People wanted to come here to visit. But the brand fundamentally ties the city's thriving hospitality industry with the overall health of the region's economy. And as our momentum continues to grow daily, I'd like to briefly highlight, I know you want to hear some of the exciting things that are coming along because it's good to, like talking about numbers and the stats and all that stuff, but I know you want to hear some of the more fun stuff. One of the things that we're doing is we're promoting ourselves as a luxury market. We'll never abandon our core. We know the country music fans love to come to Nashville. We know what people like to come to, but we also, with all of our new hotels, we're able to start promoting ourselves and marketing ourselves as more of a luxury destination, which we've never really been able to do. But now we have the Four Seasons and the Joseph and the One Hotel. And I don't know if you saw it, but just recently we announced the St. Regis Hotel. I don't know about you guys. I've never stayed in a St. Regis, but they say it's really, really nice. So we're excited to have that one. And then, of course, the Hermitage Hotel that we've always had. But our dining scene has improved so much. I mean, you're talking about where to go to have fancy drinks. There's so many places that I could name, and I'm sure you all could, but it's changed the complexion of the city. It really has. Another key priority for us is international. And you've probably seen a lot of this in the papers when we talk about international. We are the only one of 8 cities in the entire country that has a direct flight to all 5 Canadian cities. A lot of Canadians come here. The UK is a big market for us. When we added British Airways, that direct flight, it has been so successful. It was their most successful launch in the US. And it continues to be successful. And they're bringing us a bigger plane. We went from 3 days a week to 5 days a week to 7 days a week, and now a bigger plane. And I'm on the phone several times a week with other airlines. Actually, I had a Zoom at 7 a.m. this morning with the folks in Ireland because because we're trying to attract a direct nonstop flight from Dublin. I've gotten way off my notes, so I'll just jump over here. We continue to try to attract a direct flight from Central Europe. That's where our focus is. We have 6 markets that we're really trying to go after. And if we get 1 or 2 of those, it'll be amazing. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes incentives, as you know. It takes marketing. It takes making sure they have the right size jet and the right timing. And there's just a lot of factors that go into it, but we are definitely attractive, and hopefully we'll be able to secure a couple of those. The other priority that, and I know you're all thinking this and wondering about it, is filling the new stadium. The new stadium gives us a great opportunity. We love the Titans. Titans are great, but there's so much more that can be put in that stadium. And our office is challenged with really trying to go after those events and those big mega conventions that can fit there that we, never before have been able to host. Like, we're going after the Super Bowl, and we feel really good about that. We're going after the NCAA Final Four. And when I'm not supposed to say this because they told us not to tell the media, so hopefully there's not media here, but we've made the short list to that bid, and they'll be coming in this summer to make their decision. So we're hoping that we get the Final Four. All these are for the new stadium. You've probably seen that we have already secured WrestleMania. Has anybody been to WrestleMania? I mean, it's hilarious, right? I mean, it's huge. I didn't even know anything about it when I found out that was an opportunity. Ended up being the first thing that we booked. And it is, I know you probably won't believe this, and they tell us this, so I'm going to believe them. It is the 6th largest event in the world. I mean, who knew? It's 7 days. It will be in the stadium, in Music City Center, in the arena, in a couple of other venues. And I went to it. I said, if I'm going to talk about it, I have to go check it out. So I didn't know what I was walking into. I went to LA. They filled up SoFi Stadium 2 days in a row. It was unbelievable. The only way I could describe it, it was like every person in the stadium was cheering for the same football team, because they're all cheering for this wrestler that I didn't know the story. So it was really confusing, but that's going to be a great piece of business for us. And it's the very first event in the new stadium, which is kind of funny. I just got back a couple weeks ago from Houston at the college national championship. I didn't go to the game, but I went out there. They invited us as a prospective city, which means they want us to host the national championship, which would be incredible. They are sending out the RFP in the next couple of weeks, and it's for anytime between 2027 and 2031. So hopefully we'll be able to secure one of those years for the national championship. I absolutely have no idea where I am in my notes. We're in serious discussions also with the NFL about moving the combine and the Pro Bowl here. So if those things can line up, we've put together a mega events committee. You may have seen it in the paper. Governor Haslam is chairing that group. We have a really strong group, and we're going after all these events, and then we'll be raising money because it takes quite a bit of money to host those events. We recently, our office produces the 2 big events for the city, July 4th and New Year's Eve. Did anybody watch New Year's Eve on television? Well, you and 9 million other people, because our numbers went through the roof. It was 75% more viewers this year than last year, which is incredible. And believe it or not, we beat the 50-year-old show of New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC, which was unbelievable. I mean, for a 3-year-old show, that's just an incredible feat. And we were so excited about that. And plus, we had 215,000 people down there on the site. But we do those, that 5-hour show is just on Nashville, and it's advertising we could never afford to buy. We figured it up, and if we had bought 5 hours of ads on CBS on New Year's Eve, it would have been $294 million. So not only do we do it for that, but we do it for filling up almost 30,000 hotel rooms for 3 or 4 nights, bringing in lots of visitors at a slower time of year. And the exposure that we get hopefully helps us throughout the rest of the year, because if people watch the show, they are inspired and want to come to this area. We also recently hosted, I said, I feel like I've worked 6 months since New Year's Eve. Been to San Diego, Houston in New Year's Eve, and then this American Bus Association last week we hosted in the snow. We had 8 inches of snow and we were schlepping around 3,000 bus tour operators that are clients. So we were rolling out the red carpet for them, not knowing it was going to be white carpet. And we had a good showing. They loved Nashville. They thought it was great, and hopefully they'll book a lot of future business for us. Cities that host that convention usually see a really good return within the next 2 or 3 years. Now I want to take a minute and broaden the view of our city to demonstrate a very unique position that we find ourselves in. I mentioned the new Dome Stadium. The stadium, it's only one of 4 major economic development projects going on in Nashville. We also have the East Bank development. The stadium's just a small part of what will be a great neighborhood, and that's going to take years to build out. There's just some really good ideas out there about the East Bank. Nashville Yards. Have you all heard about Nashville Yards? It's on the other end of downtown, and it's another fantastic development. It's where Amazon is, if you know where that is. And they'll have a 4,500 seat live music venue. That's going to change the complexion of that side. So we'll have the East Bank and the West Side. The $2 billion airport expansion, which I was talking about, and they opened the new international terminal, which really helps us to attract some more international flights. If you haven't seen the airport yet, it's unbelievable what they've been able to do to it. But any one of these projects individually would have a tremendous impact on your business, on any destination that was going to, if just one of them, and we have all of these opening in Music City. But having all these projects, I mean, it opens us up for so many opportunities, and we're so excited about it, what we're going to be able to do in Nashville and in this region. And I'll leave you today by highlighting a couple more numbers that reflects how our industry's momentum is going. Tourism in Nashville generated nearly $10 billion in visitor spending. I thought when you were reading my bio, I need to update it because we're at 10 billion and 15.5 million visitors. Visitor spending is 35%. It's a 35% increase over 2021. That's more than 1/3 of all the visitor spending in the state of Tennessee. And I like to say it's more than Shelby County, Knox County, and Sevier counties combined. Or I'd like to say it's more than Elvis, UT football, and the Smoky Mountains can bring in collectively. And here's a number I hope you'll remember after I leave you today. Visitors spend an average of $27 million a day in Nashville and in this area. $27 million. I mean, it's hard to even wrap your brain around. That spending brings in, I told you, the $400 million to the city and $600 million to the state. And that's money that can be used on critical items like public safety and roads and education. The impact is so significant that the state estimates if we were to lose this revenue from visitors, every Davidson County household would have to pay $3,400 more a year in taxes. So our job is to keep the momentum going, to grow this vital revenue source in order to address the core priorities of the city. And I'm very attuned to how our city's evolving and the challenges that we have. And we were talking about a little bit before I got up here. And trust me, I understand. I've been behind a party bus and, been late for a meeting and frustrated. And I've seen some of the awful social media posts. But these conversations, it's best to manage it by talking about it. And I'm just proud that we're at the table and we're working on a strategic plan, and we're working with Downtown Partnership and the mayor's office and the police department to address a lot of those things, because we have to protect our city. We have to keep it clean. We have to keep it safe. If we don't, people will stop coming here, and then all that money goes away. But it's our job to remind people what a great place we have to live. I mean, we are a great city, great destination. We're special. And I mean, you guys know it. And sometimes it's easy to go, oh, we've got, this problem or that problem. But when you take a step back, I think any city or any area in the country would trade with us today. I just left that convention in San Diego. So many cities haven't recovered from COVID. It's amazing. And you see how we bounce back in this area. And I think we have a lot to be proud of. But I appreciate being here today. I hope you can take what I said about tourism and understand the importance of it. A lot of people think it's just, the bachelorettes and the pink cowboy hats and the party buses, but it's so much bigger than that. And I'll leave you with this because people don't ever believe it. The bachelorettes are less than 2% of our visitors. No one believes that. They're so visible, with all their costumes on. It's only 2%, but you think about how visitors are spread out all over the area and how they support all the local businesses. And that's why we do what we do, is to support all these local businesses and local jobs. So thank you for having me today. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
So you're the first person that I've been able to ask this question to. I've been looking at the new plans for the Titan Stadium, and we even had someone come here and talk to us. And what is the difference in the current parking allotment and the new stadium? Because I see a lot of housing and stuff, and I don't see any parking lots for tailgating.
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's one that they're still trying to work out. I know I was actually on a call this morning with the Titans and talking about their groundbreaking, and they know that's going to be one of the challenges, especially in the time period between, starting to build the new one and not tearing down the old one. But I think even when they do tear it down or blow it up or whatever they're going to do with it, parking's going to be a challenge. They've talked about a parking garage, and then can they afford a parking garage? So there's some more planning that they have to do. And I wish I could answer that better, but that's all I know.
I was able to attend SummerSlam almost 2 years ago and have a lifetime, or lifelong, I should say, wrestling fan. Another confession that my Rotary Club now knows about me. So this thing about WrestleMania, this just became my most favorite Rotary meeting I've attended in a long time.
That's great.
When will it be taking place? Because I've already been planning to jet set up to Philadelphia for WrestleMania 40, but I might need to wait.
That's fantastic. It's April 2027. It's the first event. And so believe me, we are pushing to make sure that the stadium's ready by then.
My question is, you speak a lot about the sports. Is the National Sports Authority just another entity that you partner with, or how's the relationship work between the convention center?
So the Sports Authority is over the facilities and the parking. The Sports Council is another group that they go after some of the smaller events, and we do partner on some things. But our office is charged with the bigger events.
Dina, thank you for being here. So as someone that has had to sell Nashville as a destination since '97, there's been a lot of economic development activity that's occurred prior to now. I know you talked about some of those that are going to happen. In your mind, if you had to take one of those that has happened over the last 20 years that's been the biggest driver of the growth of tourism in Nashville, what would it be and why?
Wow, that's a really big question. Tourism growth, I don't know if I would say necessarily tourism growth, but just growth. And what really got it started was putting the arena downtown, I would say. I came when it was first opening. And, even then, those of you who've been here, you know what Broadway was like back then. And now, you see the difference in the vibrancy and all the businesses. I mean, there are so many closed buildings. And I think just putting that there, putting the hockey team there, and then, of course, the Titan Stadium across the river, it changed everything. That Nashville's, welcoming to people to come downtown and do some activities. And yeah, that's a tough question. There's a lot of things. I think the thing that changed us the most as a tourism destination is not actually a facility or, an attraction or anything. I think it is, what is our product, but is branding Music City. When we did that 20 years ago, and we did it because Opryland Theme Park closed, and there were about 4 or 5 years there where we were kind of like, well, how are we going to promote this city? Because that was our big family attraction. And when it went away, like, okay, what do we do? I mean, I think it closed 2 months after I got here, and I came for tourism marketing, and that was our biggest attraction. I was like, did y'all know something I didn't? Because my job just got a lot harder. And so we had to spend a lot of time, and a lot of people, a lot of community leaders got together, and we went through a strategic planning process, and we came out with the Music City brand. And when we started really wrapping our arms around it and promoting this area as, known for music, it started changing everything. And it's not that people come here just for the music, because they don't, but it's something to hang our hats on. And when you're in destination marketing, you need that differentiator. You need something that you can say, okay, this is a good reason to come. And music makes people happy. They'll do everything else while they're here. And the best part is that everybody has put music in everything. The Frisk Art Center, Art Museum put it in the museum to get people in the museum. The zoo put it in. So it's a way to bring everybody together. And I still get really excited on, Channel 2 News when they go live from Music City. Like, yeah, we get it.
I had a crazy week the last 2 weeks at work, and I'm listening to your speech today, and I'm like, I'm not busy at all. So I don't know what you do in your free time, but hopefully you have some.
I don't have
That was
any.
really nice.
Not
Thank
right
you.
now. Yeah. Thank you.
You mentioned some great events I'm excited about personally, but I've got a glaring question. Well, when are we going to get the Olympics?
I can't even think about the Olympics. We were in the running for the World Cup, and we were really close on getting the World Cup. But now I have to say, I think it was a blessing in disguise, honestly. I've talked to several destinations that are now hosting it, and it's very challenging. You have to raise a lot of money. And so, yeah, the Olympics is even, bigger than that, but you never know.
I'm sure there's a lot of people spend a lot of time on the stadium and parking and all that issue. Had there been a lot of discussion about the size of the stadium, the fact that there are going to be fewer seats? And it's somebody, it seems to me losing that parking is going to be a real issue. An awful lot of people who show up at that stadium.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest concern they have right now, and they're addressing it. As far as the size of the stadium, I had the same question when it first came up. And they talked about, the NFL said that's the trend, is to go to smaller stadiums like Las Vegas, I think is smaller, and there's a couple others that are smaller. I don't know where we'll land. I don't know what number they have, or if they have landed on the exact number of seats, but yeah, hopefully it won't hurt us. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Dina, before you sit down, again, thank you for being here. That was very informative, and it's amazing to think that $27 million a day, that's a lot of money. But before you leave, that we'd like to give you, we have a pen that we would like to give you as a token of remembrance for your time here. And the first thing that we would like for you to do is to sign this book with that pen, because this is a book that we read to elementary school students in the Brentwood community. And when we read that to them, we'll talk to them about your time here. And so we just are grateful for you being here and for the message that you share with us today. So thank you, Dana. Thank you. Thank you to our guests for being here. Pat, KP, Mark, Christopher, thank you for joining us. We hope that you'll join us again. We do have a lot of fun here, and we get to learn new and exciting things. And one of the new and exciting things that we're going to get to do that I want to make sure that you all know, because Dina, you don't know this, we are actually meeting in Nissan Stadium in the 16th of February. So we're going to be there, and we're going to hear from Burke Nihill. There's a little bit of news going on with the Titans. So you've got East Bank redevelopment, you've got a new football coach, and we're going to get a chance to go hear from the president of the Titans on Friday, February 16th. So you will be seeing something come out to make sure that you register for that event. And feel free to invite people. We want this to be a promotional event for our club. So it's going to be a great time. But to our guests, thank you for being here. You might want to ask about coming back to that event, because that'd be great. If you can stick around and put tables and chairs away, we're going to stack in stacks of 8 by the table, and then we're going to roll the tables away. And if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, then we are adjourned.